Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're the one tasked with buying enterprise software for your company, you already know it's a frustrating maze of tech jargon and absolute feature overload. It's a massive decision, right? The pressure is totally on, and it feels like everyone in HR is watching you. But hey, take a breath. Today we're decoding the LMS. We're going to give you a super clear, strategic roadmap so you can actually navigate this software landscape, figure out exactly what you need, and make the right purchase for your organization, without completely losing your mind. Let's be totally honest here. Picking out a massive software platform is stressful. You end up staring at these endless lists of features, comparing a dozen different vendors, and constantly asking yourself, how do you actually choose the right LMS without getting completely lost in the technical jargon? Because making the wrong choice, that can cost your company a ridiculous amount of time and money, not to mention the massive headache of poor employee adoption. So we're going to break this down simply and visually.
Okay, let's dive into this. First, let's establish exactly what we're talking about. A learning management system, or LMS, is basically a digital platform used for creating, delivering, and tracking training courses and materials. Think of it like the digital home base for all your employee compliance training, your partner onboarding, and your educational resources. It literally brings stale training to life and lets you track exactly how well your learners are doing.
Now, our source material covers a massive list of software features, but don't worry, we've chunked them into logical, manageable buckets. Here's our agenda. 1. The LMS landscape. 2. Empowering the admin. 3. Engaging the learner. 4. Scaling for the future. And 5. Selecting your perfect LMS.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the LMS landscape, defining core benefits.
Before we get into the specific bells and whistles of the software itself, you gotta ask, why do we even need an LMS in the first place? Well, fundamentally, it transforms your business. First up is cost effectiveness. Sure, there's an initial investment, but taking your training online literally slashes those traditional expenses for employee travel, live instructor fees, and hotel accommodations. Then you've got incredible flexibility. Your employees get anytime, anywhere access to both self-paced and instructor-led training. And finally, workload reduction. For your HR and L&D teams, an LMS acts as a tireless assistant. It automates those time-consuming administrative tasks, like enrolling hundreds of people into courses and ruthlessly chasing them down with reminder emails.
Moving right along to Section 2, empowering the admin, the command center.
Behind every great training program is an administrator who actually has to run it day to day. If the back end is a total nightmare, the program stalls before it even gets off the ground. Consider the sheer variety of solutions available to solve this right now. Moodle uses dynamic if-then rules for automation and offers peer reviews. Talent LMS leans more into skill tests and automatic certification tracking. Docebo, they rely heavily on AI to suggest content and assign skills. Meanwhile, iSpring features an interactive quiz maker and automatic course assignment. What this brilliantly illustrates is that your admin experience is going to vary widely depending on a vendor's specific approach.
And a huge part of that back-end admin experience is user management. You absolutely need granular control over your platform. Having customizable user roles like account owner, course author, and learner ensures the right access for the exact right people. Permissions clearly outline what each role can and cannot do, which honestly keeps your system organized and highly secure. Actually, if you're training external partners, some platforms even let you set up custom system administrator roles just for them, all without compromising your internal data.
Okay, let's pivot a bit to Section 3, engaging the learner, the employee experience.
While the back end has to be easy for admins, learner convenience is literally everything on the front line. To maximize that engagement, you really want a system that supports blended learning. On one side of the coin, we have synchronous learning. These are your live virtual classrooms and scheduled sessions where you get direct, real-time access to an instructor. On the flip side is asynchronous learning, self-guided modules and on-demand resources that offer massive flexibility. The top platforms seamlessly accommodate both of these, often integrating directly with everyday tools like Zoom or Teams. It gives your learners maximum flexibility without losing that crucial personal touch.
And speaking of making the experience seamless, consider this quote from our sources. We know what it's like trying to remember all the different password combinations for multiple applications. I mean, we've all been there, right? It is incredibly frustrating to get locked out of your own tools. This is exactly why single sign-on, or SSO, is an absolute lifesaver. It lets employees use their standard corporate login just once to access all their learning resources. It completely removes a barrier to entry for learners, and trust me, it reduces a massive workload for your IT department since they'll spend way less time resetting passwords.
Now, getting learners logged in is step 1. Keeping them engaged throughout the course is step 2. That is exactly where gamification comes in. We're talking points for completing tasks, badges pinned to profiles, leaderboards for friendly competition, and game levels for unlocking new modules. Some platforms even offer a reward marketplace where employees can redeem points for real perks, like extra days off. So the crucial point is, these elements boost completion rates dramatically and turn dry, boring compliance training into a genuinely engaging narrative.
Alongside gamification, we have social learning. Tools like discussion forums, direct messaging, and live sessions foster peer-to-peer knowledge sharing and help build really strong internal communities. You don't have to force all those informal exchanges or mentorship programs to happen outside the system. The best platforms build these social features right in, which naturally boost retention, soft skills, and overall motivation to learn.
All right, looking ahead, we have Section 4, Scaling for the Future, your security and growth foundation. Think about it. What happens in a few years when your business grows, your budget shifts, and your training needs to expand globally or reach external partners? A truly future-proof LMS removes barriers completely. It ensures accessibility for everyone. That means giving access from both desktop and native mobile apps. It means offering text-to-speech for visually impaired learners and closed captions or transcripts to support those who are deaf or hard of hearing. It also means having a multilingual interface so that global teams can navigate the platform natively. Ultimately, it ensures every single learner, regardless of their location or physical ability, can fully engage with your content.
And to truly scale, your system cannot live in isolation, right? It needs to talk to the software you already use every single day. Using RESTful APIs, a modern LMS seamlessly integrates with CRMs like Salesforce, communication apps like Slack or Microsoft Teams, and data platforms like Google Analytics. You can even connect to e-commerce platforms like Shopify. If your organization decides to monetize its training by selling paid courses down the road, these integrations turn a standalone LMS into a fully connected, revenue-generating ecosystem. Of course, as you scale and connect all these different systems, security is not just a nice-to-have, it is absolutely mandatory. We're talking about non-negotiable features here: two-factor authentication, strict role-based access control, regular data backups, complex password requirements, and top-tier data encryption. You also need guaranteed compliance with local security industry standards like GDPR and ISO. As your organization grows, these features are basically the invisible shields protecting user privacy and securing your sensitive corporate data.
Let's move to and see how this builds into Section 5, selecting your perfect LMS, the playbook.
It's time to take all this theoretical knowledge and transform it into a concrete, actionable plan. Here is your systematic, 6-step playbook for making the right purchase without the stress. Step 1. Identify your specific internal business training needs. Step 2. Clearly define your essential requirements versus your nice-to-haves. Step 3. Research the modern LMS landscape, kind of like we've been doing in this explainer. Step 4. Write a formal request for proposal, or RFP, outlining those exact needs. Step 5. Shortlist 3 to 5 platforms and request demos. Seriously, get in there and test drive the software yourself. And finally, Step 6. Gather feedback from all your key stakeholders and make a confident decision based on real data.
I want to leave you with a provocative thought to end our time together today. Ask yourself this question: what is your organization's biggest training gap right now, and which of these features will actually close it? Think about it. Whether it's saving time with better workflow automation, boosting completion rates with some engaging gamification, or locking down your data with robust security, you now have the clear roadmap to find the perfect solution. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Now, take this knowledge, get your team together, and start drafting that RFP today.